Fruitcakes are something that people love, tolerate, or they hate. I would like to show you today my techniques and share my recipe for making a really delicious fruitcake that almost everybody will love. Our recipe calls for 1 cup of butter at room temperature, 1½ cups of brown sugar, 4 eggs, 1/2 cup of apricot brandy, about 16 ounces of chopped dates, 1 cup of chopped pecans, a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 16 ounces of chopped citrus fruit, 2½ cups whole wheat flour. You don't have to have specialty pans for making your fruitcakes. You can use little loaf pans like these. You can use just a regular little storage bowl. You can even use the tin that you want to store your fruitcake in or give it as a gift in. You can use a baking dish. But what's most important is how you prepare the pan. So you're going to need brown paper for lining your pan. I just buy brown wrapping paper. Shortly, I'll show you how we prepare the pans. We start mixing our fruitcake by beating the butter and brown sugar together. Okay, when that's well mixed, then we'll add in our 4 eggs. And 1/2 cup of apricot brandy. Next comes the dates. And the cup of pecans. We're going to stir the cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice into the flour. Mix that all together. That looks well mixed, so we'll take the bowl off the mixer. Get this blended up real well. Okay. When that's blended real well, we're going to set it aside while we prepare our pans. Let me put a cover on this. When you set it aside, it lets all of the flavors sort of incorporate, combine, and I think it turns out a better fruitcake. So letting it sit for 30 minutes is a good idea while you prepare your pans and get your oven heated. We have our cake batter aging over in the bowl. Now we're going to prep the pans. It's really important to get these prepped right. That way the cake stays moist and it comes out of the pan easily. So we take our brown paper, cut it to shape. Then we grease the bowl. Then we grease the brown paper and then put in our batter. The way to make our patterns is to draw the shape. And we cut them out to fit. Notice that we grease both sides of the brown paper really well. When you have small pans like this that have seams, you'll want to put foil under them so it doesn't drip into the oven. Now we're ready to put our batter into our pans. We have the oven heating for 350. This is a messier job. The best way to do it is with your hand. Place the batter in. Get it mashed into place. Try to level the top as best that you can. Make sure the cake is pressed down into the pan well. And now, to keep the top of our cake really pretty and moist, we do some decorating on it. I have half pecans, green cherries, red cherries, and a pineapple ring that I've sliced up. So just start decorating. Main thing you want to do is pretty well just cover the top of your cake.
Set your oven to 350 degrees. Set the time to 1 hour 15 minutes for large cakes and 1 hour for small cakes. Caution, your oven may be different. Watch closely the first time.
The cakes are now decorated. They're ready to go into the oven. The small ones will bake about 45 minutes. This one about 50 minutes. And this one about an hour. When our cakes have cooled enough to handle, we need to go ahead and take them out of the pan and take the brown paper off. Our cakes are baked, and now comes the saucing part. We let them cool to about room temperature. Then we're going to make a sauce out of the apricot brandy and corn syrup. This gets infused into the cake, making it more moist and more flavorful. Let's make the sauce for the cake. We're going to use 1 cup of white corn syrup. When it starts to boil, we will add in 2 cups of apricot brandy. Mix it well, and as soon as the brandy is warm, it's done. Now we're going to sauce our cake. This is the first of 2 saucing. We put the sauce on, we let the cake sit for 7 to 10 days. Then unwrap it, make fresh sauce, and start over saucing it. That will be the final sauce that the cake's going to really absorb, and over time it just gets more and more delicious. So I've made a tea with my plastic wrap here. And I have my hot sauce ready to put on. Just spoon it over the cake. It's pretty runny, pretty sticky. Then I fold up the cake. And set it on a plate and let it age. Hello, fruitcake! Now is the best part. This fruitcake has been sauced a couple of times. You'll notice that it's a lot darker because it really absorbs all of the brandy. And it will be so moist and so delicious. Legend has it that the Roman legions carried fruitcake to keep them going. And because of the brandy and the sugar in the sauce, they don't spoil. So maybe the legionnaires did carry them. That is a good fruitcake.